After robbing several Michigan banks, he was dubbed the respectful robber.
Now we're learning that Steven Snyder, who was shot and killed by police earlier this year, is tied to robberies in multiple states. He was identified after a tip to the Newaygo County Sheriff's Department just days before he murdered 2 people. 24-hour News 8's Danny Carlson has the story.
Years after Steven Snyder robbed banks here in Michigan, the Newaygo County Sheriff's Department got a tip that linked him to those robberies and crimes in other states.
Clearly, we didn't have this Snyder's information prior to that. He wasn't even on our radar, but we did have his DNA.
So-called touch DNA, evidence he left behind at the scenes of banks he robbed, like the Independent Bank in Croton in Newaygo County. It's no longer a bank, but was one in 2013 and was one of the first banks Snyder is known to have robbed. That was back when he was still saying thank you and known as the respectful robber. The respectful robber moniker was becoming less and less true.
Yeah, you know, and I think the FBI regrets that they gave him that name.
But while the tip received in 2015, likely motivated by a $35,000 reward, was crucial, Newaygo County Sheriff Pat Hedlund says it wasn't enough to make an arrest.
I wish it would have turned out differently, but it went down the way it went down.
Newaygo got a warrant to monitor Snyder's cell phone just one day before he robbed his last bank in a small town in Wisconsin and murdered 2 people. Were you surprised by how he escalated?
No, because bank robbery, any robbery, is violent in and of itself.
The first murder victim was the man who owned the property where Snyder happened to park a getaway car. The second victim was a Wisconsin state trooper, Trevor Casper. Casper was able to shoot and kill Snyder before he died.
Had Trooper Casper not intervened, I think he would have, I believe Snyder would have continued robbing banks. He had already murdered someone now, so, you know, he had raised the stakes, so to speak, so he needed to be stopped, and Trooper Casper did that.
The Newaygo County Sheriff says that it's a definite possibility that Snyder robbed other banks that they just don't know about. In White Cloud, Danny Carlson, 24-hour News 8.